Alright, API 6A ISO 10423 5. Materials, general requirements. 5.1. General. The clause that describes the material performance process for the composition requirements of the body of the bonds, end outlet connections, hub, end connector for the hanger, back pressure valve, bull plugs, valve removal plugs, wear bushing, pressure boundary, penetration ring, gaskets, other pressure containing with the pressure controlling parts shall be made with material. Specified 5.2 with the design requirements clause 4. All material requirements in this class apply for the carbon steel, low alloy steels, martensitic stainless steel for the other precipitation hardening types. Other alloy systems include precipitation hardening stainless steel for the maybe even provide safety requirements for the clause of the design requirement clause 4. Materials for actuator specified in 1016. 4. Written specification, general, all metallic, non-metallic pressure containing or pressure control parts shall be required of written material specification. Material requirement, metallic requirements, manufacturer written specified requirements of metallic materials and body and bonds and the outlet with a connection, steam valve, bore, sealing mechanism, back pressure valve, bulb plug, valve removal plugs, and mandrel hangers shall define the following along with the acceptable rejected criteria. Product safety service level 1, mechanical property requirements, material qualification, heat treatment procedure, including cycle time, quenching practice with temperature tolerance, and cooling medium, material composition tolerance, and non-destructive examination requirement. Product service level 2 to 4, requirements of product service level 2 to 4, identical with requirements of product service level 1, addition of allowable melting practices, forming process including hot work, cold working, practice with heat treating equipment, calibration, non-metallic requirements, non-metallic pressure containing with a pressure containing seal that shall have the written material specification of the manufacturer written specified requirements, non-metallic part, materials shall define the following generic base polymer, ASTM D1418, physical product requirements, material qualification shall meet with the equipment class requirement, storage age control requirements, mandrel tubing and casing hangers, material, mandrel tubing and casing hangers shall be fabricated with the materials meeting with the applicable property requirements specified by the manufacturer. Product service level 1, requirement utensils testing and hardening tests. Product service level 2 to 4, requirements, product service level 2 to 4 identical with the requirements of product service level 1, additional impact requirements. Processing, casting requirements, product service level 1, requirements, all casting, either the hanger mandrel shall meet the applicable requirements clause 5 and 7. Product service level 2, requirements, product service level 2, identical requirements, product service level 1. In addition to the manufacturer of the document found already practice established the limits of the standard control of the core making, rigging, melting, heating, treating, and non-destructive examination of the readable, providing casting, meeting the requirements of the international standards. Product surface level 3 and 4 raw products shall be used with hot working practice of the product surface level 1 requirements. All raw materials should be formed with a hot working practice with review of the raw structure throughout with the product surface level 2 to 4 requirements of product surface level 2 to 4 are identical. Requirements of product surface level 1. In addition, the manufacturer will document hot working practices, melting practices. Product surface level 1 to 3 requirements manufacturer specify the melting practices with all hanger mandrel materials. Product surface level 4. Requirements of product surface level 4 are identical to product surface level 1, 2, 3. With addition, manufacturer shall document melting practices utilized in product surface level 4 with the heat treating equipment of qualification. All heat treating operations shall be performed utilizing equipment qualified in accordance with requirements specified by the manufacturer. Temperature, product surface level 1 to 3, requirements and time temperature for the thermal cycle will comply with the manufacturer heat treatment specification. Product surface level 4 with requirements product surface level identical with the product surface level 1 to 4, 3. In addition to the temperature level, the product surface level of the parts shall determine the using heat sink. The heat sink shall be made with the same class of the material of the components made with of any alloy with the following classes: carbon steel with alloy steel, stainless steel, titanium base alloy, nickel, copper alloys, nickel base alloy with the component that do not meet with the preceding class of the heat sink should be made from the same alloy with the component of the equivalent round section of the heat sink with the determined with the accordance with the specified in 5, 7, and 2. Equivalent round of heat sink with greater than equal to the largest equivalent round of any part of the heat treatment load as alternate production part of the nature of the heat sink provided with the requirements for the subclass or with the satisfied with the temperature sensing of the thermocouple shall be part of the heat sink within no closer than 1 inch of the external and internal surface. The quenching of the product surface level 2 to 4 requirements for material that are quenched in temperature. Water quenching the temperature of the water quench material with the approximately cooling rate should not exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit. For the start of the quench bath type of the quenching with the temperature of the water quench beta with the shall not exceed 120 degrees. Completion of the quench. Other quenching material method medium. The temperature range for the quenching medium shall meet with the manufacturer's written specification. Product surface level 2 to 4. Chemical composition hanger mandrel with the shall conform with the manufacturer written specification manufacturer specified with the chemical composition, including composition tolerance of the material. The material composition shall be determined the heat base of the remelt ingot basis of the remelt graded materials in accordance with the national, international, recognized standards specified by this manufacturer. Material qualification testing and the product surface level 2 to 4 requirements general with the minimum tensile impacts property for the qualified in order to material with the qualified surface test performed in 532 and 533. Qualification test coupon described in 57 shall be used with the tensile strength of the test specimen. Tensile strength test specimen should be with the quality UTC described in 5741. Test method performance tensile strength of the room temperature going with the procedures by ASTM A370. Performing a minimum 1 tensile strength with the result of the tensile strength of the gel satisfied with the manufacturer specified requirements. Pre-testing. The result of the tensile test does not satisfy applicable performing 2 additional tests for the 2 additional test specimens required. Remove the same QTC with additional heat treatment over the form in an effort to qualify with the material result of each of the tests to satisfy with the applicable requirements. Impact testing test specimen. Impact test specimen should be removed with the QTC with the specified and 5741 test method. The perform impact of the composition with the ASTM A370 with the chart V knives and the technique in order to qualify with the material with the temper rating. Temperature with the classification range of the test minimum 3 impact specimen with the qualified the heat material with the impact property for the determine these tests shall satisfy with the manufacturer specified requirement. Retesting on the test valve with the retest with 3 additional specimen removed with the typical same location, same QTC with no additional heat treatment that be made with each of these exhibiting with the impact of the valve with the equipment equal to the seating required minimum average values. Body and bonnets and end out connection material with the test property requirements. All body and bonnets outlet connections should be fabricated with the standard and non-standard materials for the table. The 4 standard material shall meet with the applicable property for the table. The 5 of the non-standard materials shall conform manufacturer written specifications. Specifications will include the minimum requirement of the tensile strength, yield strength with elongation, reduction here with the toughness and hardness, applicability for the specific alloy. All non-standard material with the should exceed 75K minimum yield strength with a minimum of 15% elongation, 20% reduction area. Impact toughness requirement. Impact toughness shall conform with the requirement of table 6. Subsize specified U with the chart V notch. Impact requirements shall be equipped with a 10mm by 10mm specimen multiplied adjustment factor for the listed in the table 7. The subsize specimen shall not be used with the products service level 4. Table standard materials, application bonds from end bodies, bonds and end outlet connection, pressure ratings, material designation, body bonnet, internal connection, thread, flange, thread or other, loose connections, welding neck, blind threaded or other. Table 5 standard material property requirements, body bonnets, end outlet combination, material yield strength, tensile strength, elongation in inches and reduction in minimum percent. Chart V notch in impact requirements, temperature classification test, temperature product surface level 1, 2, and 3, and 4 with the minimum average impact transversal direction. Table 7 adjustment factor subsize impact specimens, product surface level 1 and 3, specimen dimensions, and adjustment factors, material qualification testing. Show minimal tensile and impact properties required in order to material with the qualified surface required with the test and performance and specified with the TC and QTC as available. The product surface level 1 requirements except for the TC with the design with the 5.6 with the QTC with the described in the 5.7 should be with the qualified the material. Product surface level 2 to 4 requirements of QTC with the described in 5.7 shall be used with the 5.422 per product surface level 1 testing tensile testing test specimen. The tensile testing specimen should be removed from the TC with the described in 5.6 and 5.7. The applicable with the TC shall be used with the qualified with the heat with the body with the bonds for the end of the connection with the produce with the heat with the test minute. Perform tensile test with the room temperature with the corner with the procedure ASTM A370. Perform minimal 1 tensile test. If the result of the tensile test shall satisfy the applicable requirement of the table 5 retesting. If the result of the tensile test does not satisfy the applicable requirement, 2 additional tests or 2 additional test specimens removed with the chain with the TC with the or QTC with the non-additional heat treatment that may perform in any of the effort qualified with the material. The result of each of these tests satisfied with the applicable requirements. Product surface level 2 to 4 tensile strength. The test specimen tensile test specimen should be removed from the QTC and described in 5.7. The test method with the perform tensile test at the room temperature in the corner with the procedure for the ASTM A370. Perform minimum 1 tensile test with the remove. The result of the tensile test shall satisfy applicable requirement of the table 5 result. retesting, resolve of the 1 tensile type of the design type applicable, perform the 2 additional type of the 2 additional testing, remove the QTC with additional heat treatment that may be performed in an effort to qualify the material for the result of each of the tests, that is all satisfy applicable performance. Products over the level of 1 to 4 impact type of the sample, the impact type of the perform heat treating of the body with the violent outlet connection produced the heat required testing test specimen. Impact test specimen should remove the test coupon described in the 5, 6, and 5, 7. The test coupon should be used to qualify for the heat of the body with the outlet connection produced from that of the heat. Test perform method perform impact test in accordance with the procedure of the ASTM A370 with the use of the Sharpie V-notch technique in order to qualify the material with the temperature rating for the perform the impact of the lowest temperature of the classifying range of the minimum of 3 impact specimen qualify with the heat temperature material impact property determined from these tests. Shall satisfy applicable requirement table 6 with no case shall the individual impact for the below the 2/3 required with the minimum average similar no more than 1/3 of the test result shall be below the minimum required minimum average parameters per practice for the level of 1 and 4. Retest of the test fail for the retest of the 3 additional specimens. Remove of the qualities UTC or TCC. Practice for the level of 1 components. No additional heat treatment may be made. Each of these shall exhibit the impact value equal to the exceeding required minimum average value. Specimen orientation of the valve listed in the table 6 for the minimum except for the value of the raw product test to the transverse directional. Of the casing well qualification raw products may be tested for longitudinal direction. Instead of the transverse direction shall exhibit 20 foot pound per foot. Minimum average value. Process and casting practice products over the level of 1 requirements. All casting of the body with the bottom's outlet and bottom end outlet connection shall be applicable to requirements of clause 5 and clause 7 of the products over the level 2 requirement. Women at the level of the products over the level of 1 are identical to 1. Addition of the manufacturer document and foundry practice will establish limited and control core making, rating, melting, heating, treatment, and non-destructive examination ensure the repairable ability of product and casting shall meet requirements of the international standards. Products for level 3 and 4 requirements. Raw products shall be used. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hot working practice products for level 1 requirements. All raw product materials shall be forged. Even the hot practice which produce the raw structure throughout the products of the level 2 to 4 requirements. The requirement of the products over the level 2 to 4 are identical with the requirements of products over the level 1. Addition of the manufacturer shall document the hot working practice melting practice. The products over the 1 to 3 with the requirement of the manufacturer specify the melting practice. Products over the level 4 requirement. The requirement of the products over the level that are identical with the products over the 1 to 3 with the addition of the manufacturer shall document the melting practice utilizing products over the level 4 material. Heat treating. Equipment qualification. All heat treated operation performed utilizing the equipment qualified in accordance with the requirements specified by the manufacturer. Temperature for the products over the level of the products over the level of 2. Requirement, the time and the temperature for the thermal cycle should comply with the manufacturer heat treatment and treatment specification. Products over the level of 4. Requirement of the products over the level of 1 to 3 should also apply temperature level of the products over the level of 4. Parts shall be determined with the evening heat sink. Heat exchange should be made with the same class of the material of the component with the made of the alloy found with the classes carbon steel alloy, steel with stainless steel, titanium base alloy, nickel copper alloy, nickel base alloys for the components which do not meet with the preceding class of the heat sink should maybe the same alloy with a component of the round ER section of the heat sink to determine the according for the method of the 5 7 2 with the ER heat sink with the greater with the equality with the large ER sink with the prior heat treatment low with the alternative of the production part with the nature of the heat sink with the provided with the requirements of causes. Well, as is satisfied with the temperature sink, the thermal coupling shall be paired with the heat sink with no closer than 1 inch of the external and internal surface of the quenching. Practice over the level to do the 4 requirement of the quench and temperature material of the water, quenching the temperature of water and quench material with approximately cooling water should not exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Start with the quench of the time quenching with the temperature of the water, quench medium with the not exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Completion of the quench over the quenching media with the temperature rating with the quenching media shall meet with the qualified manufacturer written specification. Chemical composition general material shall conform with the material manufacturer's written specification. Material specified with the nominal chemical composition, including composition tolerance for the material. Material composition determine the heat base for the pre-melt, ingot base for the pre-melt grade materials in accordance with the national and international recognized standards. Composition limited table 8 and 9 limited malfunction, carbon and low alloy, martin, tin, steel, over the precipitation, hardness, type, required manufacturer body bonds, and the outlet connections. If the composition specified by the reinforced with the recognized industry standard, these elements specified by the residual trace, almost seen that the report provided with the residual trace elements limited to the industrial standard that are within the limits of the industrial international standard table 8 and 9 that do not apply with the other alloy systems. Composition limited to the other alloy system purportedly and admitted to these tables in order to provide manufacturer with the freedom to utilize alloy systems to municipality multiplicity of the requirements encountered. Table 8 shows the steel composition line, limits of the body, abundance, and outlet connection material that percentage manufactured products over the level 2 to 4, alloying element, carbon, low alloy composition level, the Martistic stainless steel composition level, the 45K material, welding neck flange composition level. You have carbon, magnesium, silicone, phosphorus, sulfur, nickel, chromium, palladium, vanadium. Table 9, phosphorus, sulfur concentration, phosphorus and sulfur, products are for the level 2, and products are for the level 3 and 4. Tolerance ranges. Table 10, products are for level 3 and 4 only with the tolerance range requirement of the elements of the composition of the material described with the manufacturer specification. The tolerance only apply with the materials covered in Table 8, with the manufacturer specified with the material of the products are for level 3 and 4. Or 4 chemical composition requirement by reference with the recognized with the industrial standard of the material shall meet with the tolerance range of the reference industry standards or the manufacturer specified material chemistry with not cover the recognized industry standard of the tolerance range of the Table 10. These standards not only apply with the materials covered in Table 8. Table 10 alloying elements maximum tolerance range requirements and percentage of mass fraction products for level 3 and 4 elements carbon, alloy steel, martensic steel, 45K material, welding neck flanges, carbon steel, carbon, magnesium, silicone, nickel, chromium, molybdenum, and vanadium. 5.5 ring gaskets. Ring gasket material shall conform with the manufacturer's written specification, material qualification, tensile strength, non-specified impacting test, non-specified hardness requirement, minimum hardness strength shall be as follows. Material and hardness, soft iron, carbon, low alloy steel, stainless steel, nickel, UNS, N08825, and others, CRA, processing, metal casting, hot work, melting practices, manufacturer shall select specified melting practice for the fabricating ring gasket metal shop. Should use practice for the produce of the homogeneous material free of the crack, bending, and piping end flakes. Casting practice, central figure casting shall only be acceptable method of casting ring gasket. Hot working practices. Raw products shall be hot worked throughout with the ring gasket shall be made with a pierced tube with a pipe with the removal of rings and rolled with a welded bar or plate. Heating, treating. Equipment to medical qualification, heat treating of the QTC shall be performed with equipment meeting with the requirements specified with the manufacturer. Method of the heat treating of the operation shall be in accordance with the manufacturer written specification. Ring gas shall be enabled with the normal life of the solution treated with the last stage of the material process prior to the final machining 5.4 chemical composition. The chemistry of the ring gas shall be described in the manufacturer's written specification. Test compounds, general properties exhibited with the test coupon shall be represented with the property of the thermal response with the material of the compromise with the production parts of the qualified with depending on the hard ability to give the material of the result of the test coupon may not always correspond with the property for the actual component of the location throughout the cross section of the single test coupon may represent the impact tensile parts property for the part of the due for the same of the test heated provided safety satisfies requirement international standards for batch heat treatment only. The test coupons trepan core prolongation removed with the production part or specified with the production part of the test coupons only permitted with the qualified production parts having the same with the similar with the roundness, elastic roundness. The tensile coupons should only qualify with the material parts produced in the same heat. The material of the heat treatment, the conformance for the test coupons should consist of the sacrificial production part of prolongation removed from the production part of the sacrificial production of the part prolongation. Test coupon shall only qualify with the production parts having the identical size and the shape of the test coupon. Should only qualify material than parts produced from the same heat with the heat treated lot. Equivalent rounder, ER, selection. The side of the test coupon shall be determined with the following with equivalent round methods. Figure 3 illustrate the basic round with determine the equivalent round simple cell with the hollow parts more complicated with the part. The equivalent round part shall determine the actual dimension part of the heat treat condition. Equivalent round step of the type of the part determine the test. T equivalent thickness of the thickness flange of the equivalent round determination of these parts according to the method of the complex shaped parts. Size requirement equivalent round of the test coupon shall be equal to the greater the dimension part of the qualifies except that the valve forging size shall not exceed 2.5 inches. The equivalent round casting size not exceeds as shown in the ASTM A703 figure 1. Shows round hexagonal square rectangular plate single hollow shape with less L than T length and with less when L is less than T, consider the plate of L thickness. Areas inside of the dash line 1/4 T and 1/4 thickness envelope from the test specimen removal. The length is less than the diameter. Consider the plate with a 7 thickness. Simple geometric equivalent round section shapes having length. When all internal and external surface during the heating treatment of the half inch for the final surface of the equivalent round 11 was 1 1/4 of the thickness of the internal and external surface of the during the heat treating. Not more than a half inch final surface of the equivalent round of 2 times the thickness multi-flange component of the thickness shall be the thickness with the thickness gauge. When the thickness of the thickness is component with the heat treated with the thickness times 2, even the larger of the 2 identical dimension bodies are screwed open-ended. And you have general flange bolt bodies with complex shaped weld-headed components, figure 3 equivalent round models, and envelope test specimen removal in the keel block configuration, equivalent round models, processing, melting, casting, hot work, melting process. In no case for the shell test coupon process, melting process cleaning of the material will qualify with the testing coupon remelt vacuum degrade gas material shall not qualify with the material primary melt, which is not experienced with identical melting process. Remelt grade material with remove with a single remelt with ignite may be used to qualify other remelt grade material which have been in for some primary melt. No additional alloy shall be provided for the individual remelt in gas casting practices. Manufacturers use the same foundry practice for the test coupon used the parts qualify with the ensure of the accurate representation. Hot working practice. Manufacturers use the hot working ratio of the test coupon equal to less than even the process of the production parts for the hot work ratio. Test coupon shall not exceed the total hot work ratio of the parts of the qualifies. 5632 welding. Welding of the test coupon is not allowed except for the attachment type welds. Heat treating equipment qualification. All heat treatment operations shall be performed utilizing equipment qualified in accordance with 5.8. Method of the batch heat and treatment of the test coupon shall experience with the same speed. Specified heat treatment processing part of the test coupon shall have then heat treated using the manufacturer specification and heat treating procedure. Method of continuous furnace. Material heat treatment with the continuous form of the test coupon shall be with the same heat with the heat treatment. Lots of the material qualified. Material qualification. Tensile impact testing specimen. Is tensile impact test specimens required, but they shall be removed with the test coupon, final test coupon, heat treatment, and multiple test coupons may be used to provide available the test coupon requirement of the international standards met with the test coupon process for the heat treatment using the same furnace at points and times. Test specimens removed with the test coupons for longitudinal central line axis and only with the central core with a 1/4 test thickness envelope solid with the test coupon with 1/8 of an inch minimum mid thickness for the thickness section of the hollow thickness. Test coupon, see figure 3. Test coupons larger in size as specified in 562. C. The test specimens may not be removed from all location further from the test coupon surface that would be required to specify the test coupon size were used. Test specimens shall be removed with the test coupons for the tensile specimen gauge length within sharp V notch root less than 1/4 inch thickness end of the test coupon sacrificial production part. Test coupon test specimens removed with the section of the part with the meeting size requirement of the test coupon production part with the defined 562. Certain size of the half-inch diameter tensile specimen shall be used with the qualified on carbon low alloy stainless steel unless the physical configuration test coupon prevents and use specified with the standard subsize specified with reference to ASME A370 may be used with either standards of the half-inch standard subsize specimen. ASME A370 may be used to qualify with the CRA material standard size impact of 10mm by 10mm cross section use. Except when insufficient material indicated for the next smaller standard size specimen obtained. Will shall be used with impact specimen shall be removed except for the notch within a half-quarter inch of the thickness of the envelope. Or at least one Rockwell or Brenner hardened test shall be performed with the test coupon after the final heat treatment cycle of the test coupon. Heat treatment cycle prior to hardness, they'll be very same heat treatment cycle experienced with the tensile impact test specimen. Hardened test shall be performed in accordance with procedures specified by ASME E10, ASME E18. 5.7 qualification test coupon. The property of the one the qualification test coupon represents the property of thermal response of the material of the compromise of the production part of the qualifies. Depending on the hardenability given on the qualification test coupon's result may not always correspond with the property of the actual component of the whole location throughout the cross section. A single qualification test coupon may be used to represent impact of the tensile property of the production produced with the same voltage heat. Provided satisfied with the quantity of the international standard of the batch heat treatment only the quality of a test coupon with the drain core with the prolongation removed with the production part. Qualified test coupon may only qualify production parts having the same similar with the eccentric round. Equivalent round and the qualification test coupon shall only qualify material parts produced in the same heat. For material heat with a continuous statement, the qualification test coupon shall consider the sacrificial production part with the prolongation remove of the production part. Sacrificial production part prolongation qualification test coupon shall only qualify with production parts identical size and shape. Qualification test coupon shall only qualify materials parts product through the same heat and heat drop in lot. Equivalent round selection. The side of the qualification test coupon shall be part determined using the equivalent round methods given in 572. Equivalent round methods. The figure 3 illustrates basic model of the determined equivalent round symbol with the same simple cell with the hollow parts with the more complicated parts. Equivalent round parts shall determine the actual dimensions of the heat treated condition. Equivalent round instead of the type of the part determine the equivalent thickness range flange of that of the equivalent round determination of these parts in accordance with the method of the complex sharp parts. Size requirements. Equivalent round with the qualification test coupon shall be equal to greater the dimension of the part of the qualified except as for the product service level 2. Forging size not exceeding 1 and 2.5 inches of the equivalent round. Casting size not required to exceed size shown in ASME A703 for products for level 3 and 4. Size not to require to exceed 5 inches of the equivalent round at the option manufacturer. Equivalent round qualification technique. Test coupon as the ASME Section 8, Division 2, AM 201 and 202. Place of the above requirements. Processing, metal casting, and hot working metal plastics. No case of the qualification test coupon process using the melting process other than that of the material that qualifies. Qualification test coupon made of the melting grade vacuum degraded base of the qualified material with the same primary which will experience with identical melting practice. Melting grade material removed with a single remelt with ingot may be used to qualify the remelt grade material which has been the same primary melt. No additional alloy performed in these individual remelt ingots. However, the remelt grade is consumable with electrode process. Material used fabricated with the parts of the process except for the level of 4 which shall qualify the remelt ingot bases. Casting procedure of the manufacturer used with the same foundry practice of the qualification test coupon the use of the part of the qualified is accurate presentation. Hot work practice. The manufacturer should use the hot work ratio of the qualification test coupon equal or less than U of the process production parts qualified with the hot work ratio of the qualification test coupon shall not exceed the hot work ratio of the parts that qualifies. Welding and qualification test coupon is not allowed except with attachment type welds. Heat treatment equipment qualification. All heat treatment operations should perform utilizing equipment qualified in accordance with the 5.8 method of batch heat treatment. Qualified test coupon experience the same specified with the heat treatment process of the qualified with the qualification test coupon shall be heat treated with the material of the manufacturer specified heat treating procedures. Qualification test coupon not treated with the same heat treatment loaded with the part of the qualified also intended solution treating age hardening applicable to temperature qualification test coupon 25 degrees Fahrenheit of those of the part temperaturing as parts should be no lower than 25 degrees Fahrenheit below that of qualification test coupon upper limit shall be higher than permitted heat procedure for the material with the cycle time heat temperature not exceed the part of the method of the continuous furnace material heat treat with the continuous furnace qualification test coupon shall be the same heat with the heat rate and loss of the material qualifies material qualification tensile impact test specimens. And tensile impact test specimens are required, but they should be removed with the qualification test coupon following qualification test coupon and treatment cycle with multiple qualification test coupons may be used. Provide Apple quality test coupon requirements international standard met with the qualification to class test coupon process the heat treatment of the surface of 8 furnace set points times. Suspended should be removed with the qualification test coupon longitudinal center line axis holding with a line in center core quarter-inch testing thickness envelope with a quality testing coupon within 1/8 inch mid thickness section of the quality test hollow quality test coupon. See figure 3. For qualification test coupons larger than the size specified in 572.3 for the test specimens shall not be removed with the location for the qualification test coupons would be required with the specified with the qualification test coupon size per use. Test specimens shall be removed with the qualification test coupon such as for the tensile specimen gauge length with a Sharpie V9 for the root at least a quarter-inch time the thickness of the end of the qualification test coupon. Sacrificial production of part of the qualification test coupon test specimen should remove the section of the part of the meeting the side of the requirement of qualification test coupon for the production part 572. Alright, we're almost done with 5.7. Standard size half-inch of the diameter dental specimen used unless physical configuration of the qualified test coupon prevent use of the in case of the standard subsize specimen ASTM A370 may be used. Size impact 10 by 10 inches, 10 millimeter by 10 millimeter in cross section used except for their surface insulation material, in which case next smaller standard size specimen is obtainable shall be used. The impact specimen shall be removed. Such notches within a quarter-inch thickness envelope hardness. Testing of at least one Rocknell Brindle hardness test performed in the qualification test coupon after final heat treatment cycle. Qualified testing coupon heat treatment cycle prior hardness testing verify heat treatment cycle experience by the tensile impact testing specimen. Hardness testing performed in accordance with the procedure ASME E10 and E10 and E18. Heat treating equipment qualification. Heat treating parts of the qualification testing coupon testing coupons are performed production type equipment meeting equipment specified by the manufacturer. Production type heating treating equipment is considered the equipment that routinely used to process production parts. Equivalent round equal or greater than the equivalent round subject of the testing coupon. Material qualification reference subclause given them the international standard manufacturer shall specify the method necessary to qualify for the test material. Bull plug and valve removal plugs. Material requirements of bull plugs, valve removal plugs shall be minimum. They have the same as specified by the products for level 3 bodies, bonnets, and end outlet connections CSA 5.4. Back pressure valves, material requirements, back pressure valves shall be in a minimum as same as those specified in the products for level 3 of tube hangers C5.3. 512 pressure boundary penetration material requirements of pressure boundary penetrations shall be specified with the manufacturer. Pressure boundary penetration directly exposed with the well bore fluid used in sour surface materials. Double D, double E, double F, and double A shall meet the requirements of the NACE MR0175. Wear bushings, material requirements of wear bushing shall be specified. The manufacturer hardness of the material shall be between 241 HPWs and 321 HPWs. Hub end connectors, material requirement hubs, and specified dimension ISO 13533 shall equal material requirements for the each equipment with the hub is connected minimum requirements for the personal service level, 2 body bonnets, and outlet connections of 5.4. And Chapter 6, welding, general requirements, and we'll get to that.